Hey, Ray Ray.
Yeah, I'm fucking mad at you, just so you know.
That's right. You're allowed to be.
Well, you are too, but I'm tired of getting blamed for all the shit in your life when
I'm not blaming you for
I'm
the shit in my life, Ray Ray.
no, yeah, you have for the past like 20 years. You
How
call
was that?
me and blame me, and I try to help, and I can't, so I'm in the wrong.
What
It
am
makes
what am
me
I
very
blaming you
fucking
for?
sad.
What am I
No,
what am I blaming you for?
everything.
I need a specific, Ray Ray.
All the drama, all the everything.
How
Yeah,
is that your fault?
well, you tell me because you're the one fucking blaming me.
How? I need a
I
specific, Ray
drank too
Ray.
much, and 10 years ago I smoked too much pot, and I try to help you, and I can't. And then you leave again, and it's my fault again. You know what I mean? I'm tired of getting blamed. Honey, I've
I,
tried to help you how many times?
Rana,
But I
what
have
am
my
I
own
blaming you
fucking
for?
issues too.
What am I blaming you for?
Drinking too much, smoking too much, whatever, lying to you. No, that's the problem. I feel like shit because I can't help Sean, and I want to so bad, and
You
I've
can,
tried
Ray
to,
Ray. Do you
but I've
remember?
tried.
Do you
I've
remember?
tried, but somehow I've always got something wrong with me. You know what I mean? I'm drinking too much. I'm smoking too much. I'm doing whatever.
Well, you're doing better now, right?
Yeah, but
You
still,
quit drinking,
I got
right?
you on my ass saying you could have tried harder. No,
That's what I get is Sean, you should have done this, and Sean, you should have done that, and that's the
that's what
thing.
I'm fucking getting, Sean,
But
from you.
that's not what I'm
For the
giving you,
last,
Ray Ray.
yeah, for the last 20 fucking years.
How so?
You could have been a better friend. Why were you drinking so much? Why? Everything.
Well,
You
except that
know,
I haven't been like that. I mean, I was a very good friend to you for all of those years. We didn't ever
I
have a
know you were.
problem.
Sean, I was a great friend to you too.
You're
But
right.
yeah, every time I fucked up, you said you fucked up. You could have done better. You could have helped me more.
Well, that's the thing, Ray Ray, is I didn't even ask you for help with anything until after Natalie died.
But I offered. And this last time, Ray, you're drinking too fucking much.
And you were. And you
Yeah,
admitted it.
I
I mean,
was.
it's not like I was
But
saying something to be hurtful.
honey, no. But honey, you didn't try to offer help. You just said
I
peace
did.
out.
Rihanna,
No,
I was going to go down there with you to the clinic, remember? I
in
helped you
Casper,
with your trailer. I helped you to set up that the sewer thing. I mean, that was all me.
is Sean. You.
I helped as best I could. I helped to clean up that trailer and it would get trashed every day and I would clean it up again.
That's what I'm talking to you about. Is neither one of us fucked up in any way. We were just being us and human and fucking up in a normal way. You know what I mean?
Look, Ray Ray, the thing is with those girls and the way that they were acting while they were there and pretending like that they weren't eating, like that wasn't your fault and that wasn't my fault.
Yeah,
That's just
well, I got them taken away from me now.
I know. I know I heard.
Amy has 9 months of supervised probation with them, but they're going back to the mom.
Yeah?
But right now, I have a divorce tomorrow, and one kid of mine doesn't want to be with me. He told me to go fuck myself. Literally, go fuck myself. The other one wants to be with me, but yeah, it's tomorrow, Sean.
That hurts me.
Why does it hurt you?
Because I know you love your kids.
Very much. And for one to tell me to go fuck myself, 13 years old.
I get a lot of that. See, that's the thing, is that I don't want to be autistic. I don't want to be like that. I can't
Sean,
make myself neurotypical. I can't make myself what other people want.
Stop. I've known the autistic ADHD Sean my whole fucking life. Alright? I do not, have not ever held that against you. Ever.
And I'm not saying it about you or against you or any of that. I mean,
Yeah, every time you text me, you tell me that I'm ditching you, and I'm not. I wanna take care of myself too. You know what I
you're
mean?
right, and I know that, and I'm trying to take care of myself. I can't do it. I don't have the resources to do it. I get overwhelmed and I shut down. I mean, you remember right after Natalie died, and I was trying to get a hold of you to get Miss Shelley somewhere safe. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, that's something that needs to be written down. I mean, I get treated like I made no effort and like I was some sort of a predator to these people, and I wasn't. And there were a lot of people that know that, and they just never spoke up. And while I was being harmed and railroaded and assaulted, like,
Sean, how many times did I speak up on your behalf? At least a dozen. I've always been on your fucking side.
that's the thing, is that I need to be able to take that to the courts. I needed to be able to. I was being attacked by the public, and these people were playing like I was some sort of a predator, and you know I was trying to help them.
Yeah, I know. And I've been telling that to people.
When I went to Cheyenne that first time, and you let me know, you were telling me that if I showed up that you had a place for me, and then when I got there, I was excited. I was gonna go see you, and then you let me know that Ryan said no. Like, for 2 weeks, I was excited about going there and finally getting to see you and having a safe place, and that's not me being an asshole. That's me just telling you, like, that hurt me, and that was something that you're not a bad person for, or even close to a bad person for. I mean, you can't make Ryan's decisions. And then the third time when I went to Cheyenne, and you said the same thing, and Ryan was just an asshole.
No, it was always Ryan being an asshole. Somebody being an asshole. Me trying to keep a relationship. I fucking love you. Alright? Always have, always will. You're my brother. Alright?
See, that's the thing, is that.
But now you won't come back to Rollins because I fucked you over again.
No, that's not it. It's the fact that I would go back to Rollins. Ray, if you told me that you need me there, I would do everything in my power to make sure that I got there to help, but there's also no resources there for me, and
There's no resources for me here.
exactly.
I fucking love you. You are my brother. Alright? I love you. And I've actually talked to Dayton about you. And He wants to go back to Arizona. No, I want to go to Montana.
I really like Montana.
But I know that you can't go to Colorado. You can't come back to Wyoming. You're stuck in fucking Chapel butt crack.
I can go back to Wyoming, actually. I no longer have a vehicle and I don't have an income. I got my court stuff.
Hey, we have an income. And Dayton just bought land outside of Wamsutter. 40 acres. How about you and me start our doggy daycare? He's going to park his camper out there, and then we're going to build some.
That sounds good. I mean, when you guys get set up on the property, give me a call and I'll go out there immediately as soon as I can.
We have it right now. We have it right now.
Yes, ma'am.
We just need to move his camper. And you know what, Sean? We've been through a lot of shit. I fucking love you. You're my brother.
Love you too, Ray.
Who do I call when I get depressed? You. Who do you call when you get depressed?
Everyone. And I hope that somebody answers. That's always how it is.
Well, who answers most of the time? Ray. Please and thank you.
Right?
No, I call you all the fucking time, dude. Yeah, I know we've been through shit, but it's what siblings are. Yeah?
Well, you're better than my own siblings, that's for sure.
Well,
My family's always been shit, though. I mean,
well, you've met my fucking family too.
Yeah.
They're just shit. They're just a shit. It's alright. But we have land. I mean, 40 acres. Dayton has a camper. We're going to pull out there and then build a house in the next 5 years. And no, I'm not going to ask you to watch any kids.
That was the problem that we had there was them kids. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, they're going back to Amy.
That is even scarier. Do you think she'll stay off the meth this time?
No. No. They're going to end up with her mom. And her mom is dying of colon cancer.
Yeah, she's stage 4 now. That's what my grandpa died of.
Well, she's stage 3 right now.
Oh.
Negative.
It's still really bad.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I think the girls will end up at. It fucking sucks. But there's nothing I can do about it as much as I want to. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. The stuff that they pulled there, that's not your fault. I want you to know that first of all. I mean,
you know what though? It seems kind of like my fault. I was supposed to be taking care of them, and I didn't do the ideal job that the state or Amy or anybody else wanted me to do.
You did a better job than Amy. Those weren't even your kids, and you made sure they were fed. You know, I mean, we explained to them every day that they can't just walk off in an RV park. You know, people could abduct them at any point in time.
They were telling the cops that we did not feed them.
I know. When I told them,
And they were not getting bathed, and they were nothing. Nothing. And that's bullshit. Even if it was cereal, they were getting fucking fed.
I remember you not eating because they were eating so much.
Yeah, exactly. And complaining that they were sneaking food and locking the cupboard.
They were going over to Miranda's and telling her that they weren't getting fed so that they could try to get food from her. And then Miranda would come over and complain to me.
Yeah, and they were getting more. That's the fucking thing.
It's a sugar addiction, though. Like, that's what they wanted. They wanted sugar.
And I don't want to call them fat, but they would not be that big if they were not getting fed.
Well,
You
see,
know what I mean?
that's exactly what I said. And then they went out and complained to you that I called them fat. I'm like, I'm not calling you fat. I'm telling you that if you, because they were trying to say that when I was like, hey, these people coming over here and saying that we're not feeding you. And she said, oh, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But Josh and mom won't feed us. I'm like, if Josh and your mom weren't feeding you, you would not be as big as you are. And I wasn't trying to call them fat. I was trying to say, hey, you're not anorexic. Obviously, you're getting fed. And yeah, they are big
Yeah,
kids.
you're getting fucking fed. Whatever it costs, you're getting fucking fed.
And
Well, now Amy is on probation for 90 days.
still,
A walk around.
is it about meth again?
Yeah. But she gets the girls back. My case got dismissed
That's good.
because I was not fucking neglecting them. And they were telling the cops that I left them with strangers and everybody else. Mm-mm.
They kept running around, like, when they were sneaking out at midnight to go down and hang out in the bathrooms. You remember we
Mm-hmm.
went down there twice in one night to go tell them, "Hey, you can't just come down here and hang out in the bathroom."
And we busted their butts and told them to go home. And then when I got in the apartment, they said that I was just leaving them with strangers. But the stranger was Drew,
Um,
Dane's ex.
I don't know, Drew.
Yeah, well, that's the only place they were, was my house or her house.
So having a babysitter is a terrible thing, huh?
Yeah, because it's like 10 strangers.
Absolutely, yes. A babysitter is 10 strangers. No, that's the thing, is that them kids being unruly was not your fault. I mean, when you were smacking them, I definitely had a problem with that. But the thing that they had the biggest complaint about was, and they never once came to us about not getting fed. Like, oh, you guys aren't feeding us. You guys aren't feeding us. They never said that to
No,
us.
remember when I told them that I was gonna lock the fucking cupboards because they kept sneaking shit?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
call it sneaking. I'd call it outright because they were blatant about it. I mean, they just never stopped eating.
that's the thing.
And I understand, they're kids, they do need to eat, but there's a point where it's like you're literally just eating to eat.
And that's all they were doing.
And
They were bored.
that guy at the RV thing, like, he apparently, from what Miranda was saying, they were going down there and telling the people at the cabana that they weren't eating, and of course that's why the cops showed
And
up there twice, 3 times.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
would get more food, and I would get a cop visit.
yeah. I remember the cops brought all that chicken too. I was like, "Oh my god, the cops seriously just." Well, I guess it wasn't the cops; it was the CPS lady, but she brought over more chicken than we could eat in a week between all four of us.
Still, that was a fucking us.
Yeah,
That was the girls talking a bunch of shit.
Well, like when Danny was saying that she had that urinary tract infection, she never said a word to either of us. And the day that I left, right after I took him, you remember I took him to the park that day over with the train?
Yeah.
And I was like, Danny, if we're gonna go and take you to the hospital over your urinary tract infection, we need to go now. We're out of the house, we have the vehicle, and we're right next to the hospital. She's like, oh no, I don't have one. I was like, but see, that's the thing, is that you were telling those people that you needed juice, you needed pineapple juice, and you needed soda pop because you had a urinary tract infection, and that stuff doesn't help a urinary tract infection.
Mm-mm.
That's just manipulation.
That's okay. You know what's her name from Destiny? Destiny Counseling?
Is that the place across the street from the hospital?
No, across the street from the bar
I don't know. I don't know where the bar is there.
in Sydney.
Oh, yeah. I know where the Silver Dollar is, and I know where Dudes is.
Okay, right next door to Silver Dollar.
Yeah.
That was their counselor. Mine too, when I was their age. But anyway, no. She has recorded evidence that they fucking lie to get their way.
Well, we have that too.
Huh?
I said we have that too. I mean, the things that they told the police or told other people, that's recorded. They record all 911 calls.
Yeah, you come to Rollins, fuck that. They don't record shit.
Yeah, I noticed they didn't
Nothing,
have
babe.
body cameras on. I actually recorded the interaction between me and the police.
Did you?
I did. That's why they took my computer and refused to give it back. I literally had to plead guilty to something that I shouldn't have had to plead guilty to.
I went and tried to get your computer, and they told me no.
Ah, well, that's not what they told me. They told me that you could go in there and get it. Actually,
No,
if
I
I could,
tried, and they said no.
that is so messed up. Well, they were trying to prevent me from getting a case against them. They had to drag out time and try to force. I literally pled guilty because I needed to be able to get my computer. My friend Brandon Ratner.
What did you fucking get arrested for?
I got arrested for. You remember I threw that cup of coffee down? That's what I got arrested for.
That?
I did.
No.
Yeah.
You're fucking kidding me.
I got arrested and they took my Jeep.
Well,
I told them that there was evidence in the Jeep of child abuse, and there is. There was. I did get that computer back, but there was evidence
you threw a fucking cup of coffee?
Yeah, you were at work, remember? At Tiger Mart?
Yeah, but they arrested you for that?
They did. They said that I ruined a machine there that cost $1,400, and they want me to pay $1,400.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We had to mop the floor. That's it.
Well, that's the thing, is that they literally wouldn't hear a thing that I had to say. They gave me an invoice, and I actually still have the invoice here somewhere where it says that they want me to pay $1,400. And I told them I didn't break nothing. I threw a cup of coffee at the floor, and they're like, well, that's the machine's ruined, and it's going to cost you $1,400, and I have until June to pay it off.
Okay. That was when I got pissed off, and either way, you threw a cup of coffee.
I did, and I admitted to it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I always admit to the things that I do wrong. If I do something wrong, I admit it.
Window or anything, though. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was mad. but I didn't. Uh-uh.
Well, they do a lot of really shady stuff. Those officers did a lot of things that they shouldn't have done.
Oh,
And I was explaining to them that because Amy Witcher and Andrew Witcher, they've been in a similar situation as Amy, except or as Amy Spencer. Sorry, because Amy Witcher and Amy Spencer, that'd get confusing. But
yeah, she hasn't been Spencer in like 15 years.
yeah, when she married
Anyways.
Nathan. But yeah, like there was evidence in that vehicle of child abuse at least 3 of the places that I was at, and they wouldn't let me have my vehicle, and they wouldn't tow it to the impound. They just gave it to the tow truck company. They told me that they weren't going to arrest me, and then they arrested me. And then they took me to the jail, and I was trying to explain to them what was going on. They didn't care. They saw me, they saw an easy victim.
Sean, they never fucking care. They never fucking care. And you know what? You're talking about. Amy hasn't been in Spencer for like 20 years.
Yeah, she's been Kingery for the last 20 years or so. I remember, like, when I first met Nathan, it was after they'd broken up, and I was working at Sweden Cream for Roy, and those guys.
Oh my god, Roy? Fat motherfucker.
That guy is such an asshole.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, John and Nathan, they were taking money out of the cash register and spending it on women and spending it on meth. And, like, I didn't know they were.
Yeah, they were going to Cheyenne.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I didn't know that any of that was going on until, like, it occurred to me, when Roy started screaming at me and yelling at me and, throwing hot dogs at me and accusing me of stealing from him.
I told Roy that shit was going on, and he told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, well,
because he knew. He knew. Straight up. He knew.
Well, I've got Nathan sent me a friend request quite a few years back, and I explained to him that I didn't want to destroy his relationship with his dad, and even though
what? Nathan is still a fucking crackhead. I'm still friends with him on Facebook to keep an eye on him, Yeah, he's still a fucking crackhead. Acid head.
well, he admitted that it was him and John, and I've got that in my Facebook Messenger. So I mean, that made me feel a lot better. I mean, just the fact that he was willing to man up and admit that. But
no, Diggs. I don't know how to feel about him because he's done a lot of good things, but on the other side, he's done a lot of bad things. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Nathan is semi. He's in between. He's trying.
That's the thing is that I've had to deal with a lot of people like Nathan, and basically I'm easy to victimize. I'm easy to blame it on, and Nathan wasn't actually that bad. When I was working at Sweden Cream, it was just the constant theft. I mean, they just assumed that the cash register was theirs, and they were chasing after Tracy Hodges at the time and a few other of the women in town. And
oh my god, Tracy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd she do?
I don't know. Well, they just basically open up Sweden Cream at night when we were supposed to be cleaning for those girls to come over and screw around or whatever. But
the last time I heard of Tracy I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Living on the ranch.
She's always been decent to me. I mean, she's never been mean to me or treated me like shit or anything, but over the situation with Natalie, she unfriended me on Facebook and blocked me. So
She was friends with Nellie.
I don't know. I really haven't been in contact with her for probably the better part of 10 years. I mean, there was
Sean,
yeah.
listen. Help and care for your new friends. Natalie is in the past. Tracy is in the past.
Yeah.
Focus on the fucking future.
Well, that's what I'm doing is I'm trying to have a future with everything that happened.
You're not, Sean.
But I am. I've
You're
been trying to
focusing
get
on the fucking past.
No, the
Yeah,
past
yes, for years.
there's nothing wrong with reminiscing. But the thing is, what I'm doing right now is trying to get my disability back, and they want me to jump through a bunch of hoops that I don't have the money to jump through. Do what?
Honey, you can reminisce with me, but you need to focus on the future.
I have been focusing on the future.
No,
I've been
you haven't.
Yes, I have. I need to be
That's why
able.
you still talk about Natalie and.
No, see, the thing
else.
about Natalie is that situation is a situation that destroyed my entire life. I literally cannot take care of myself. I don't have an income. I don't have a vehicle. I don't have anything, Rayray.
Babe, I don't either. I do not either. And I am figuring this shit out all by myself. Alright?
You know, I can't say that I'm figuring it out all by myself. I'm living with Dallas
Sean,
right now. I live with
Jessica
Dallas.
killed herself.
There's a train going by. You're gonna have to give me a minute.
Jessica killed herself. George left me. There's all the others. No. Focus on the fucking future. Please.
That's
if
the
I
thing
have to,
is,
you fucking have to.
Rayray, I'm trying to explain to you the roadblocks that I'm facing. All right, getting those roadblocks out of the way is my future. I have to get those roadblocks out of the way so I can take care of myself. And that's what I've been working on. That's why I was going to you. That's why when you said that you were going to help, it was that important. I mean, when I got there, I'm not pretending like you're an evil person for being an alcoholic. I understood that you were an alcoholic. I understood that it was one argument away from being a fucked up situation.
You're telling me that I can't help because I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm not.
That's not what I'm
Not
telling
anymore.
you. That's not what I'm telling you, Rayray.
Sean, all your friends that died, I have nothing to do with that. All
I know.
my friends that died, we have nothing to do about that. We have to go forward.
And that's what I've been doing, and you're not paying attention to the things that I've been doing to do that. I'm telling you that I have been. When I went to your place in Cheyenne twice, both of those times I went there for help that you offered. And you know, that's the thing, is that I was trying to get help. I was trying every step of the way to get help, and I still am.
Shut the fuck up, because I was drinking too much, for one. I'll tell you that right now. I was drinking too much. I couldn't help you because of that.
I know that now. I didn't know it at the time.
Right now, I can. Because I'm not fucking drunk. You know what I mean?
Well, they wanted to prevent you and I from working together. So I actually have they had a protection order against me. I'm not supposed to even talk to you.
Well, they can fuck off. Sean, you can come here right now and we'll be good. I'm not fucking drunk anymore.
And I'm glad for that.
And we both need help. That's the thing. We both need fucking help. And who's gonna help who? You and me.
Trying hard to get my disability back. The
I
thing
can't
is,
even get that. I have to go to work 40 hours a fucking week with migraines and seizures, everything else.
I'd love to be able to go to work. I loved working manual labor. Like that was my saving grace all growing up. Like
Yeah,
as soon as as soon as
Mm-mm. No.
as soon as like the first time Gary Jepson put me to work, I realized how much I love manual labor. But now with my back all fucked up, I can't do that.
But you got a fucked up back. I get migraines.
Yeah, me too. I didn't used to, but with everything that happened, I get them a lot.
I still have to work. I still have to work.
Yes, ma'am.
40 hours a fucking week with migraines on my ass.
So you got a job now?
Yeah, good job.
Very nice.
But I kind of almost can't do it because my migraines and my pain and everything fucking else.
Well, for me, I have to be able to get an ID, and that's going to cost some money.
No, $10. $10 for an ID.
If I had $10, that would work.
I will give you fucking $10.
Did you get that money my Aunt Mary sent you?
Yeah, but nobody will cash it. Yep. I tried it everywhere.
She sent a check?
Hmm?
So she sent a check?
No, money order.
Ah.
But I tried to cash it everywhere. Nobody will take it. Which is alright. I don't feel bad because I never picked up a computer. Never did anything.
Well, I have the computer now. Brandon drove me to court.
They gave it to you?
They did.
Where are you right now?
I'm at Dallas's in Chapel. You remember Megan Christie's old house? The one that I was gonna buy to help rescue people?
Yeah.
That's the house I'm staying in.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's like 2 blocks away.
From you?
Alright, well.
Yeah, there's Amy and them. They sold everything in the house for meth. They sold the fireplace and the stove and all of that.
Don't even talk to me about Amy and meth because that's. I'm so upset about that.
Yeah.
She sold everything for fucking meth. And then told me that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, they were gonna pay me to use my tattoo equipment, and they just never did. I'm never gonna get my tattoo equipment back. I mean,
Oh my god. Amy stole. Who's this guy's
stole what?
tattoo equipment?
Somebody else's tattoo equipment?
Mm-hmm.
See, those are the people that were gonna help me. I mean, I needed money, and they promised up and down. They swore up and down.
Yeah, yeah. But I can't remember his name.
I tried to find Josh on Facebook, and I wasn't able to.
No?
No.
Oh.
Like all the places that I went for help, that people said, "Yeah, I'll help you," and so on and so forth. Like I've got my stuff at all these different people's places, and they all made empty promises. I was like, I can't take care of myself. I need that money. And when they didn't follow through, they're like, "Hey, Sean, don't blame me." I'm like, I'm not blaming you for all of my problems. I'm saying that that particular situation, it screwed me over. Not having the money that Amy and Josh promised, and not
Have you,
having.
babe, have you, have you ever met Amy and Josh?
Yes, I've met Amy and Josh.
They're fuckers. I'll tell you that right now.
I just had to hope for the best. That's the thing, is that I was desperate. There were a lot of people that knew what was going on. That I mean, I love them. I really do. Miss Peaches, I love her to death. I love her family. But these people not coming forward with what they knew allowed me to be victimized repeatedly.
Sean, come fucking home. Come home. I can call and text everybody. Come fucking home. Because really, when you ask, I'm the only one that fucking cares. Yeah?
Yeah, Amy got a hold of me to send me some real mean messages, trying to accuse me of abusing her kids. I'm like, shit, they were fed. I looked out
Like I
for them.
said,
Like I never hit the kids. I never. It's such a messed up situation there. I mean,
babe,
at first it was going to be you and me helping each other, and when I got there, it was, oh my god, those girls are seriously the worst behaved children I've
but
ever dealt with.
hey, if you think about it, it's been you and me for like 30 years.
Quite a
Yeah,
few anyway. Yeah,
yeah, 30 fucking years.
I think
We
it's.
taken care of our kids.
Yeah, I helped to raise Miss Jerry's kids too. I've been a lot of people's live-in babysitter.
Well, I have too. That's what I'm trying to say.
But
It's not you, it's not me, it's whoever you call.
I can't turn off autism. When I was able to work, I did, but that's a lot of the issue that I'm having now. Is I can't physically work. I do the best that I can, but then there's the. I mean, I relive what happened with the police across the United States every single day. I mean, the evidence that I had, that I should have been able to show, that they absolutely wouldn't look at. Like I've had to start recollecting it multiple times in order to get my disability back. I have to be able to get an honest day in court. Do what? I can't hear you.
You're not okay.
I think we're breaking up. Oh, Ray, my battery is at 1%. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Love,
Love
love
you
you.
too. Be safe. Bye. Make sure. There it is. Where the hell is that? Oh my god, I have to pee.